Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with selections for Monday, the 23rd of January. Well, let's get straight into it. Well, let's not get straight into it. Firstly, I think at the moment everything I touch seems to go to stone or turn to stone. So these selections are advised with a bit of caution. But I do like the look. I really like the look of these selections. It's like I've taken all the prices. I think a lot of them are a decent value. They may change in price. And you may find at 9 o'clock the change in price anyway when the market's like open properly. But I've had a decent bet. It's more like a Saturday bet today because I think there's quite a lot of racing and it's not bad actually. There's quite a lot of angles where you can come at because at Ffos Las, I think there's the first three novice hurdles. I think the favourites are vulnerable or the fancied horses are vulnerable. So as you'll see further down in a minute, I've actually taken them on. So I don't know exactly how much it comes to today. I think it comes to about £25, but that includes a £5 free bet that I've had. So you might see some funny stakes where I've had to include the free bet, which I believe this is the first one. So let's get straight into it. So the first bet is a 16 pence each way, look 15. The reason why it's 16 pence each way is because I had a £5 free bet, and that's why it comes to £4.80. So the first selection is Harrier with Style at 6-1 in the 12.50 at Kempton, paying 4 places instead of 3. The second selection is Jack Ryan at 6-1 in the 120 at Kempton, paying 4 places instead of 3. Both these horses are trained by John Ryan, and both have run well recently. And I do really fancy these horses. And John Ryan's stable do like a bit of a bet if they are fancied, so keep an eye on those. The third selection is Kadima Imperial at 16-1 in the 150 at Kempton. This was ridden by Luke Morris. It was ridden by Luke Morris last time, and they've changed the headgear. I think it's first time cheap pieces this time, and it could bring some improvement. And I think 16-1 with Luke Morris, he knows the all-weather scene inside out now. So I think it's got a cracking chance and a decent jockey on board. It may look a bit unorthodox, but it's a decent jockey. And the final selection is First Company at 11-1 in the 220 at Kempton, paying 4 places instead of 3. And as I said, that's a 16 pence each way, look 15. And above it, I've also had a 50 pence each way accumulator. Right. So remember that stake. It's 10p each way for the trebles. Right. So here we are. So 20 pence each way doubles and 10 pence each way trebles. So these are the horses where I've taken on the favourites. Don't get me wrong, some of these prices, these horses may not even figure. But there are two. What I've gone for horses that they're not a million miles behind on form. The horses that are fancied to run behind the fancied horses, like the second and third or third and fourth horses. These horses aren't too far behind those on the figures. And also, some of those more fancied ones have never ran over hurdles, and I think it's a huge advantage to have ran over hurdles, even if you're a little bit behind on the form. So 20 pence each way doubles and 10 pence each way trebles. I think it comes to £12. So if you want to split that in half to make it come to 6, then that's up to you. I'll leave the stakes with you. So the first selection or selections are 3 horses in the 130. Nordy Lordy at 150-1. I've taken the price because I can't see it getting any bigger than that, but we'll see. Second selection is Thunderclap at 12-1. And the third selection is Madiket at 15-2. Realistically, I think Thunderclap is the one that is more likely to pressure the principals or fill the placings, but we'll see. The next race is at 2 o'clock at Ffos Las. Well, this one where it's my banker race, really. Not because I fancy them anymore, because I think they've got very good chances on form of getting into at least getting into the places anyway, or possibly even winning the race. So ideally, we need both of them minimum placing. So in the 2 o'clock at Ffos Las, the big reveal at 13-2, and Hercules Morse, both in the same race. And finally is the third race. So ideally, we need at least 2 of them placing to make it interesting to come onto this race. So in the 230 at Ffos Las, I've gone for Frankie Roy at 100-1. And once again, I've taken the price because I can't see it getting any bigger. Philanderer at 17-2 and Scarpered at 28-1. Well, Scarpered is interesting because it's one of those horses in the racing post where It's from Nicky Henderson, but when you hover over its last run, over the comments, it's got them massive blocks that pops up where the jockeys explain exactly what happened, because basically it looked like a non-trier. Well, they said it wants better ground. Well, this isn't better ground, but so there's a good chance it may not even figure. But I've had to include it because it was too eye-catching to not include it. So yeah, so that's the doubles and trebles bet. So as you can see, just take an eye on the have a look at the stake. 75 pence each way accumulator, but this is the actual main bet, is a 20 pence each way lucky 15. These horses, well, they've all got cracking chance. I do really like the look of all the horses, but if anything goes like, if it goes like it's gone for the last few days, I'll probably get about 2 plays for the day, but we'll see. So yeah, 20 pence each way lucky 15 and a 75 pence each way accumulator makes it come to 750. You decide what stake you want. So the first selection is Diderot at 7-1 in the 340 at Southwell, paying 4 places instead of 3. If this was fully fit, this has ran well fresh in the past, and I think if it's fit, I can't see it coming out the first 4, but who knows. The second selection is Prince of Rome at 14-1 in the 420 at Wolverhampton. The third selection is Faithless Insomnia at 7-1 in the 455 at Wolverhampton, paying 4 places instead of 3. This went off by the clappers last time over a distance that it didn't want, so understandably that's why it was completely tailed off. It's now dropped back in distance over a mile again, where it had been running well, and I see no reason why it shouldn't run its race, and if it does, it should come place, but we'll see. And finally, Show Me a Sunset at 15-2 in the 5:10 at Southwell, paying 4 places instead of 3. So those are all the horse racing selections for Monday. I've covered Ffos Las, Kempton, and Southwell, and Wolverhampton. So basically, you've got everything there. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.